Hey everyone, it's Dustin with TechMD. So today we're going to actually be recording in my house. I have a customer coming over. She was not able to do it at her house. Anyways, so we're doing a Motorola G7 Play. Now, if you have the Power or the Plus, I'm interested in fixing it. And if you pay for return shipping and the part, I will be glad to fix it and film it so I can have all 4 versions of this on film. I'm assuming it's going to be very similar to the Motorola G7, so we'll find out here once I start cracking this open. As always, guys, if you're a professional technician and you see a mistake or a problem that maybe I should fix or improve, please mention it in the comments so that way we can either try to correct it or help others. So anyways, thanks guys for watching, and please like and subscribe, and on to the video. So today we're going to actually be using my hot plate here, and you're going to be putting the actual device flat down, screen down for about 1 minute once it hits 100 degrees Celsius. You can use a heat gun, and if you guys need an idea of how to do it yourself at home with a heat gun, please make sure you watch my Moto G7 on how to separate the screen with just a heat gun. But today we're going to actually put it on the hot plate and wait about 1 to 2 minutes, get it nice and hot to the touch, and then it'll make it a lot easier to separate, and away you go. So this is used for professionals, so if you're at home and you're wanting to do this, then I'd recommend a $20 heat gun. Okay, and then we're going to be separating it with an iFlex tool here. So, and I'll be leaving links in the description on where to buy the tools and parts and everything that you guys need. Glass only is not going to be an option, and so make sure that you don't buy only the glass. I'd recommend buying the parts from me, so that way you know for sure that you're going to get the correct parts. And plus, you're also going to get good quality parts with a warranty. So if you've already bought some on eBay or Amazon, I'd recommend returning them and purchasing them at the link below. Also, that'll help support this channel. So this is the Wagner heat gun, and this is $20 here, okay? So, and then this tool here is about $10, and we'll talk about some other tools in the video. Alright, so the customers finally got here, and we got her part. She actually ordered it because I did not have it quite yet in stock, since it's a fairly new phone here. But as you can see here, the Motorola logo's here. It doesn't want to come up, but there. And so what I did is I grabbed the part and compared it to this, the actual screen that's warming up on that hot plate I was telling you guys about. And I made sure that all this lines up perfectly. Okay. Now, if you look at the back here, if the connector was facing us, the actual little Lego connector here, then would indicate that we'd take the screen from the top off and just plug it in, just like the Motorola G7. So I don't think this is going to be that way. We might have to go through the back or remove something. So we're going to go ahead and just remove the front screen first and just analyze it. Also, some of these other tools that I've bought is the B7000 and the E8000. Now this is similar to super glue, except for, if you look at it, it says 3 to 6 minutes for surface drying time, and then 24 to 48 hours of cure, so it's a little bit slower than super glue, versus this is similar to like Gorilla Glue. Now, as you guys know from my previous videos, I've used these. I've had a few recommendations about people telling me I should use this. I haven't. But it is quite handy if you're a professional to use this because you got that fine tip strength there. I also plan on getting some T7000, which is a liquid adhesive. But if you're stuck with super glue, I'd recommend the gel because it takes a little bit slower to dry. And then we're going to actually spread that all around. And sometimes I just use my iseasmo tool to spread it around the frame. If you don't know how to do this, please look at the G7 video on how to spread super glue. So if you're trying to do this at home. If you're professional, just grab this. This will be perfect, or the T7000 will also work as well for you. So I've also been delaying a little bit to waiting for that screen to warm up. And so remember, we're waiting for it to get hot to the touch. So it should be there now. Yes, it's nice and toasty. We're gonna just take some heat resistant gloves. I just picked these up at Walmart. They work for the most part and smell when you burn them. So don't burn them. Anyways, make sure your phone is turned off. And we're gonna go between the glass and the plastic frame of this phone. I would say if the frame is too damaged on this one, it might be not really worth salvaging. Look at that, glass only repair could be possible if you guys want to go crazy, but looks like some of the LCD is already busted on that. We don't care about that. What we're doing here is replacing a very cheap part, and it's not really worth separating the glass only. So if you guys are looking for glass only, don't even bother, it's not worth your time. So we're just gonna remove piece off piece, or as we can, as it slowly releases here. Now if you have a heat gun, remember to watch that other video on how to separate it. You don't want to warm it up too much since this is more plastic. It's a harder plastic, but if you warm it up too much, then you could melt that plastic, so make sure you're careful. I used it at 900 degrees or 100 degrees Celsius on the hot plate. So we don't want to go in too far because we don't even know what's in here. Could be a metal plate, could be a bunch of components like the Z3 that I just finished a video for. We don't know. So this is just me exploring and seeing what I have to do to fix this device. So we know the cable's on the bottom. So we're going to open it up from the top like that. Okay, so yeah, this is a clear, you have to go through the back. So what we're going to do is, we don't care about this screen. Remember, the screen's not worth anything. And then you might have to warm this up a little bit. If your screen's still warm, you can just separate that off. That's your earpiece. And we're literally just going to put it on the front of that right there. The same direction, which I think I did. Yeah, it looks good. I'll look through it and make sure it's sitting flush with the ear speaker. The reason why I'm doing this now is because those can get lost, you can forget about it. Just do it now, put it on the screen, you're fine. It has some adhesive stuck to it already, so you're fine. This looks like an LG phone, very similar. So they use glue to glue down the screens to the frame. It's not my favorite way of doing phone repairs, but unfortunately with the screens getting much thinner, it's our only options. So right now I'm just cleaning up the edges. You can use an iseasmo tool, the iFlex tool, or whatever, like even a knife if you're careful, an X-Acto knife, to remove this. Looks like it has a little rubber gasket right here. Make sure that stays on. If it falls off, just put it back on. Careful not to break the frame. Cutting that frame is basically making it where there'll be a giant hole in the screen area. So you want to try to be careful. She has some dings right here, but it's not too bad. If you do have a ding inward, you're going to have to take some like wire cutters, pliers, something to bend it back. So be aware of that if your ding is severe from a side impact. You can prevent these dings by just installing a case. Pretty straightforward, guys. So what I'm doing right now is I'm analyzing the side panel and making sure I got every piece of glass. Okay, it looks fine. And I'm just going to shake it loose here and make sure I have no excess glass on the back of this, or on in here as well, because you don't want to set your screen in there and crack it. Now I'm trying to figure out if, see, the back does not look like it's going to come off. There's no like pull tab, so either this is glued or this separates from this frame as an additional piece. I'm thinking it's going to be the additional piece, just how it's designed. So what we're going to do here is try to put a tool in between the plastic frame, like an iFlex, and see what happens when we start separating it. So nothing good that I can see comes from that. Looks like this plastic frame can be replaced, but I don't know where you'd buy it at. But that's interesting that you can do that. So our next procedure here is that this panel has to come off, and it's not like this whole thing unclips, because once I started getting my tool in there, this plastic frame was coming off. So I'm pretty confident this is going to come off, but we have to figure it out as we go. So I'm going to pause the video for a little bit and let this warm up, okay, about another minute. Or you can use a heat gun. Be careful not to get this too hot. This is plastic, so it can warp. So I would recommend on low on the heat gun, and then just hit it for about 30 to 45 seconds. All right, so I cleaned my area, got rid of all the broken glass, and I warmed it up in the meantime. Okay, so let's see if we can get in here without damaging the back panel too much. Remember, it's plastic, so they tend to damage a little bit easier if you don't know this. So we're just not going to go in very deep. See where we're going to at. I do have some right away resistance trying to go in deeper anyways. So it does tend to warp while it's warmed up, so be careful not to bend it too much. So funny that these two different generations of phones, or same generation of phone, but completely different design. Just getting a little deeper and twisting it off. Okay, so there is a fingerprint reader sensor. We gotta go, maybe we go this way. Let's look closer here, guys. Oh, we got some, we need to get some scissors on this. Nice. Looks like I did not break the fingerprint sensor reader. That's always a nice thing. What we're gonna do is just go ahead and separate the fingerprint sensor from the back. Should be still nice and warm. If not, warm it back up. Okay, I had to stop recording for a second. Okay, so it looks like there's some clips on the back side of this, and you might need to warm this up or just peel off the glue here, but we're going to obviously redo the glue. I'm just going to put this on the hot plate, and then I'll remove the glue later. But you can do it now or later, whatever. Same thing here, we're going to just remove some glue, get our area clean. Okay, and then we got Phillips screws. So I just picked these screwdrivers up. Unfortunately, Injured Gadgets has ran out of them, but they're, I'll show you guys here if you can read it. Come on, camera. Quinlan, okay? And they are amazing. Magnetic, and if you look at the bit here, they're about $10 if it will zoom in here. Yeah, it's not going to, but anyways, it's a very unique bit, and it's anti-strip. So I highly recommend these type of screwdrivers, and there'll be a link in the description below for one of those. Anyways, I'm going to use my electric screwdriver here today for speed. And you can put them over here in the little holes. If you're looking for this mat, also link in the description here. We'll get that out to you guys if you want that. Seems a little bit longer screw there than the two middle ones. It might be important to organize these. Motorola can do weird stuff like that. So I'm just going to keep them organized because I don't know the screw size here. And this phone already looks like it's going to be a nasty repair. Because the connector looks like it's going to be going under the battery. So you got to be really cautious about removing these batteries. A lot of times Motorola does not put pull tabs in them, and if you're not careful it can explode into a fiery, sparkly mess of smoke. So you don't want to do that, and it will get so hot that it will melt the phone and ruin the phone. So batteries you got to be really cautious about, especially using any kind of metal tools or anything like that around them. So we're going to remove the fingerprint sensor reader, disconnect the battery. Let's see here. Screen's going to come up and over, so it looks like that is our screen. Up and over. Yep. What we're going to do here is test our screen and make sure that we got a fully functioning screen before gluing it down. If not, so I would recommend doing this video with removing the back first, okay, and then testing your screen to make sure it works through the back. And if it does, then you can separate that front screen. Also, it'll help you remove the battery because it'll keep it nice and toasty by removing the battery. So, screen's coming on right now, and we're going to test this here as soon as it comes on. Very organized, good job. Do you not have any side windows? If it's still loading or what it's doing here.
You can swipe up and see all the options.
There we go. Let's remove all this bubble. I think it might be creating some glitches. Also, this cable could be creating some glitches too. Got some solid lag, or I don't think it's a processor's not that hot. Is your phone fairly laggy?
No, it's pretty quick. I just bought it 2 weeks ago, so it's still
New, huh?
yeah.
What I'm going to do is put this cover on and put some pressure down on it and see if it'll help with the speed. What this is going to do is actually push down against the frame on the on the hot, what is it called? I don't know, it's the, guys help me out, heat plate, transfer something on the frame. So pushing down on it will help keep the processor cool, and this might be the issue. So your phone could get pretty laggy if it's running too hot. Okay, so we got a lot more smoothness here. So when testing your screen, make sure that this is screwed down or being held down with your fingers, because it's forcing the board down to keep it cool. So yeah, the screen's working. Whew. Excellent. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and turn this bad boy off. Where'd you get the phone at?
Best Buy.
How much did you pay, if you don't mind asking?
$179.
That's not bad.
Didn't want to get a cheapy phone, but didn't have enough to go real expensive, so.
Yeah, I hear the budget. It makes sense. This is a budget phone for a reason.
Yep. But it's not the most budget phone, so.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a good option for me. Because I've had really cheap phones before and they just don't last.
Yeah. Okay, so I don't see any clear pull tabs for this battery. So the best option here would be to, remember, a blunt object, not a sharp one, and see if we can separate it. So we don't want too much bend on the battery, and then we don't want to ruin those cables underneath as well. If your phone was warmed up from the screen prior, and you did not remove it yet, this would come off very easy. What I'm going to do is just go ahead and put this on the hot plate and try to warm up the phone a little bit, but you do not want to hit it with a heat gun right here, because it could hit that battery directly and blow it up. So I'm going to pause the video while this is warming up. Okay, got it a little bit warmed up, just the whole entire frame, and this whole thing should come loose. Remember, just not to puncture it. I'm going to try the other side now. Try not to bend it either too much. Okay, so while it's still warm a little bit, just bend it back and make sure it's sitting flush. Just off camera here, pushing it down. All right, now that we got that out of the way, we can remove the front LCD cable here. And now we can glue the screen down. Whew, lots of fun. Gotta love Motorola and their trouble. This is almost, I might not recommend this for your first phone. If this is, you just gotta be super careful about these batteries. I've had a few explode on me, and trust me, it's not a fun time. Okay, so I'm gonna take the B7000 adhesive, or remember, you can use super glue. You'd have to put it on the tip of something like this and then spread it all around the edges. It works just the same. Gorilla Glue would be a little bit slower dry. The super glue dries pretty fast, so you got to be quick if you're gonna do that. So just a nice thin layer here. So I'm not even pushing much out, I'm just spreading it along. It doesn't need that much. It doesn't actually have to be as thick as the frame. That's really important, guys. And then just clean off your tip and then screw it back on. So if you get any on the inside of the frame, just clean it off very carefully. And not touch anywhere else, which is important. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do this. There we go. Okay, now we can stick this on carefully. Oh, it's imbalanced. It looks like there's some little sticky pull tabs here that we want to pull off, so we're going to pull that back through. Just notice that. This is going to actually help the screen set down and hold down. I don't really know how mission critical that is, but we'll do that anyways. Alright. Just weave it through the hole. And then we're going to start from the top. And just making sure that you're checking your alignment. Looking real good. Same with over here. Well, this is interesting. What the heck? Huh. Okay, as you guys can see, that the screen doesn't go all the way to the edge. And same with up here. This is why you probably always want to try to stick with genuine parts. I'm not sure what's going on here, but the screen doesn't seem to fit the actual phone. But the camera holes and everything else is lined up perfectly. You should definitely take a picture of this and say, what the heck? This doesn't even fit. Get a refund for that. Like, I already glued it down. Works just fine, but the screen is not the right size. Poor manufacturing. Bad Chinese company. Where'd you buy it? Amazon or eBay?
The link that I was sent from your
eBay or Amazon?
eBay.
Okay. Yeah. Bad Chinese company. I've seen this. It's pretty rare, but I've seen it happen. Did it come from China or did it come from the United States? Well, we set the battery in here. Put our clip back in. I don't remember. Oh, this goes underneath. Actually, I have to pull that back up. Where does this go? Side. Could also just show the Chinese this video. Man, I wish I could spot this seller out right now, but we both have our phones being worked on. Did you pull up the link on your phone?
Yes.
Cool.
So once we get it on.
Yeah, we can show the audience to avoid these people. See, this is the problem with buying on eBay. Unfortunately, I didn't have a supplier quite yet for this. But hopefully by the time the video comes up, we'll have a nice, reliable supplier with genuine parts. Man, this should not happen. We got glue all over the place here, so we're gonna have to clean this up. Need some alcohol. So just getting some alcohol on the screen here so we can rub off the excess glue that obviously is not going to sit down on this frame. Front side's not as bad. Strange little phone here. I wish I had something to fill it, but really, the only thing you could fill it with is glass.
I have a screen protector.
Yeah,
Covered it.
but this part right here is just all out. Just trying to get rid of some of the glue out of it. The rest is just going to fall out over time. Well, we did use the sealant, so it should be fine. You want to come put your passcode in again?
Mm-hmm.
So it seems to be fully functioning. We'll check that front camera. Yep, front camera still works. Hi world. Alright, let's point out this eBay company. Give me 1 second. This is the box that they sent it in. Online seller, it says. Walnut, California. This is the part they sent us. G7 Play. That's the barcode. It even says G7 Play. Okay, while she's finding that, we're going to put some tape down on this here. I've already removed all the tape. Okay, so here's the bad eBay seller. Alright. Where is their name? You bought from 20 sold. There they are. Maybe not. Shopping _ 360. 99% feedback. See, this is why I purchased from them, because good feedback. So you probably don't know that the screens are defective, but they will know after this video and some pictures that we'll send them. So I expect this eBay seller to fully refund her for this screen that doesn't sit flush with the phone. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and glue this back on here and go from there. So I use Tessa tape. You don't really need to use glue. I would not recommend using glue. You can get Tessa tape in the link in the description below. Let's do a little bit more excess glue left over here. These plastic clips really suck. Let me grab my X-Acto knife so we can cut around. Okay. Let's pull up the double-sided part. And then let's make sure that this gets through the hole. Okay. Now for the other side. The Tesa tape is very sticky, and as soon as you warm it up, it basically will help it get really extra sticky to seal it. This is not a water resistant foam, is it? Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. And for good PR for that eBay company, if they respond back with a refund, you can always comment on the video. It should be up in about a week.
If you send me for that, I'll let you know.
Yeah. It's just not good quality.
Yeah.
But it still works. It's just not as up to snuff. That would have been hard to see that, by the way. Like a trained professional to see that. I didn't see it. I even looked at the screen. I was like, oh, it looks right. Because I've seen them like too strong or that, but it's usually really obvious. That was so minor that it's not that obvious. Alright, let's see if we can get this fingerprint reader lined up correctly here. Okay, it looks lined up. Let's see if we can get these clips in. I heard a nice click. You really don't need to warm this up with clips on the back, so I don't see the point in that, guys. Anyways, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please tell me where I've gone wrong. If you see any problems with my attempt at this phone that I've never seen before, let me know. I'd love to correct it or fix it. Yeah, and in the future here, we're going to have, like I said, a link in the description with the correct size parts with genuine Motorola. So hopefully, if we can get a hold of them. Well, guys, thanks for watching. And I will have more videos coming soon. So have a good day.